Hello everybody, welcome back to the Panel by Panel Comics YouTube channel with me, your host Jay. Today is my Panel by Panel comic review. Got a little different today, so let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we get into the video, guys, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button and the subscribe button as well so you never miss out on my nearly daily comic book content with shorts as well posted throughout the week. Now, today's going to be a little different. I'm going to categorize it from Marvel, DC, and Indie, and then my top pick from all of those. I will then choose my ultimate pick of the week between all the different publishing outlets. But we're going to start off with Marvel first, and we only have 3 books to talk about. Coming in at third is X-Men 97. This is issue 2. 32 pages for $5. And to be honest with you, I am done with this series. It wasn't anything life-changing. It wasn't anything good. And throughout the book, I was just thinking to myself, why am I reading this? And if I'm ever doing that, that's probably a really bad sign. And overall, this just wasn't for me, and it wasn't entertaining me, and it didn't keep me hooked throughout. And I honestly couldn't tell you what this was about. That's how bored I was throughout. So X-Men 97 coming in at third place. I gave it a C-, but I mean, it's what it was. Next, coming in at second, we have Black Cat. This is issue number 12, part 2 of the Black Cat and Frank Castle little story that we have going on. It continued where it picked off in the last issue with Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, and Punisher having a one-on-one conversation. Felicia trying to escape from Frank, and she does so in a decent manner. Also has a little bit of luck go on her side, so it kind of worked out for her. But she's also saying, like, how is my luck powers not working on you, Frank? This is weird. You're the only person that this hasn't worked on. So they continue running away. Felicia does, and she gets away a decent bit, but then Frank gets to her. She falls down this corridor. And then she calls up her friends and is asking for some help, some life advice. And she gets the jump on Frank, and she actually does a good job, round kicks him. And whenever they seem like Felicia's going to get away and finally do whatever she wants, something shows up, and it looks like Punisher and Felicia are going to have to team up. This was a really good issue, though. G. Willow Wilson killing it with this Black Cat series. Comes in at second place for Marvel. I gave it a B+. Still a really good book. Not my top pick, but I highly recommend getting onto the Black Cat series. G. Willow Wilson just does a great job. Her Poison Ivy series is amazing, as well as this Black Cat series. But my top pick from Marvel was, of course, Daredevil, issue number 4. It was a little slow throughout, but man, the ending was fantastic. We got to start this issue with a fight between Omen and Daredevil. As we know, Omen is going after Matt Murdock. The fight was very intense. Omen nearly beats Daredevil, but he gets away. We get some more updates with the cops that are investigating Matt Murdock for a potential murder, as we know that they are becoming more and more aware of this murderer who's taken eyeballs out of the humans post-mortem, excuse me. And they then go to the university and tell them what their plans are, and they're kind of sly about it. We know that the one officer is a little cocky, the other is more, I guess, old school. And then we also see that Al whacked Daredevil, and he takes him in and tries to do some investigating, try to do some one-on-one talk with him, but that doesn't work well. This was a really cool little splash page right here with Daredevil breaking the chains and kind of beating up Al, getting to talk to him, see if he knows anything about Omen. Al asks if he knows anything about Omen, and he doesn't. But then the officers, Calhoun, and I always forget the other one, the little young buck, they go back looking for some bodies or just to revisit the crime scene, and Omen is there. And to go back to the earlier part of this issue, they were at a shooting range practicing their shots. Calhoun was basically telling Dominic, the officer, he needs to slow down because he didn't get a single shot. And that comes back at the end of the issue. Something bad happens to Officer Calhoun, and what a cliffhanger it was. A great issue of Daredevil, issue number 4. My top pick for Marvel, coming in as an A- this week, and my top pick for Marvel. Next, going over to DC, coming in at the bottom, we have 6 total books, and number 6 is Barbara Gordon Breakouts. personally, this book was just not it. It feels like it is just the same thing over and over. Barbara just struggling to find out what's going on, struggling to keep focused, struggling to just be there. It's just not going well for me. And at the end of this issue, I was just like, why am I even reading this book anymore? It seems like the last 2 issues have been the exact same thing. It sucks because I want to read more about Barbara and more about Oracle / Batgirl. But this book is just not it. The artwork is all right. It's just the writing is so repetitive. It seems like it's the same thing every 5 pages. And personally, this comes in at the bottom as a C, and I'm going to be dropping Barbara Gordon Breakouts. That's pretty unfortunate. I was really looking forward to that series. But next, coming in at 5th place, we have Supergirl issue number 15. This is the conclusion to this Heroes of Kandor storyline. It was basically just a large battle that we've had the past couple of issues with Kara and the Black Flame. She gets some help from Lesla Lar, who we've seen throughout this series. Supergirl still has her white and blue costume on throughout most of this issue, but then throughout the fights, after she goes up to the sun, Black Flame, with her power ring absorbing the sun powers, starts to get radiation poisoning / sun poisoning, and she starts crumbling, starts getting way too stiff, and essentially she loses. Kara takes the ring off of her, and Black Flame is defeated. Supergirl then goes to the Super Council, or the High Council, tells them that they need to be better. Lesla talks back to her parents and decides to be her own person, where Kara then gives her the ring to defend herself, to defend the city, and she gets her new suit and becomes what is called Luminary. So that's a new character now for the DCU. And then Kara goes back to her home planet and she decides to make a new team called Superforce. I wasn't too big on this reveal. I do love that Kara finally came back around and has her own suit, but now she has her own team. How is that going to go down? No clue. Supergirl, it was all right. I'm going to stick around for a little bit with the... My face looks really red right now. Anyways, I'm going to stick around with this series for a little while since we have that new Zod event coming in, I think, a couple weeks. And Supergirl is going to be what kicks it off. So we'll see how that goes. But Supergirl comes in at 5th place and is a C+. Next, we have the Fury of Firestorm issue number 4. A lot slower than the other issues so far. This was more of a talking point between the female character Starflame, Black Flame. I think I'm losing out on what her name is. Anyways, Ronnie Raymond's girlfriend having a talk with Martin Stein, trying to be like, why did you do this to Ronnie? You use Firehawk as her name. Basically trying to find out why he did this to Ronnie. He was selfish. He should have known better, should have done better with his, I guess, responsibility. Dr. Stein says, well, I was not a good person back then. I've definitely matured. I've grown since that time. And we also see how the creation of Firehawk was really just to contain Firestorm, which definitely leaves a hard impression on Firehawk. And she continues to rage at Dr. Stein. The artwork is really good. Jeff Lemire's writing was very good. And then they take this invention that in theory could stop Firestorm, but we'll see if that actually works. They got this 3-ton machine on top of a car going to Pittsburgh, trying to stop him. Good story, not as action-packed as the previous issue, so it comes in a little lower, but still the story is coming together from Jeff Lemire. Good solid midway point, as I believe it's an 8-issue mini. So issue 4 comes in at 4th place and is a B+ for me. Next, coming in at 3rd, we have Absolute Catwoman. This is issue number 2. A little slow yet again at the beginning. It felt like I didn't know what was going on. It's just a whole lot of Selena Kyle doing stuff on this island with all these other rich people, just maneuvering her way, trying to find how to put this device on the black market, or putting the device on the black market that we had in issue 1. Still doesn't know what it does. Also getting some more history with what the cat group that she had, I forget what their name is, but what they did back in the day, draining the bank accounts of these super high wealthy people, donating it all to charity. And then we go back to current day, and those people that she had back in her heyday, her little cat gang that she had, well, they show up to this auction house with all these multi-billion-dollar people, and they're called the Calicos. We see Victoria Sage. She was the first one to show up, and she's the one that Holly came to first, but then she pushed her away, and Holly went over to Selena Kyle. We also see another one of the Calicos. We have Helena show up, and a whole bunch of fighting goes down. Selena trying to just keep this weapon on her, and we see Cassandra Cain make an appearance. They have a fight. Cassandra does get away again, and she gets away with the weapon. So now Selena Kyle and these Calicos are on the run, and now they got to go try and save Holly and try to find out what this weapon is. Really good story. Just felt like the beginning was a little slow, definitely picked up throughout, but it could have been a lot better in my opinion. That's why Absolute Catwoman comes in at third place for DC and is no, we're going to say a B+. Next, coming in at second, we have Bleeding Hearts. This is issue number 6. Really, really heartfelt. This one continues the little herd from the zombies who are still trying to attack and catch all the humans that they let go in the previous issue. We see them killing all these people. We see this adult woman basically taking Rabbit under her wing, and Poke tried to find her, try to save her, but the female, of course, didn't know who it was and starts stamping in his head. And whenever they were on the run, Rabbit gets picked up by this huge, huge obese zombie and nearly eats her. Meanwhile, Moosh and Poke are having a really serious conversation, and we find out that Moosh didn't actually eat Rabbit's mom. She got away, and she ends up killing that massive zombie with a shot to the head and saves her daughter. The female who was acting like the mother of Rabbit sacrifices her life so that the mother of Rabbit and her can just go on and try to escape this whole situation. And Moosh then reveals, or Poke then reveals to Moosh that he has a heart, and that drives Moosh crazy, trying to eat him, and they go on a huge chase. Meanwhile, that woman succumbs and sacrifices herself so that Rabbit can get away, saying that I would have done the same thing. Moosh and Poke then go on a huge chase, and Moosh gets set on fire by Poke and ends up dying. I mean, that was a really, really hard and emotional scene of this book, and Poke is trying to explain to Rabbit and the mother after she's there. They just bump into each other again, and Rabbit's talking to Poke, but he can't understand her. And then Poke is talking to the human, and they can't understand each other. And the mother is really confused because then he starts saying Rabbit, says her name. Poke and Rabbit share a hug. Really emotional book. This was really good. Highly recommend it. My favorite DC Vertigo title, just above End of Life. I just think the emotional bits in this hit more than End of Life, which is more action-packed. But Bleeding Hearts comes in at second and is an A- comic book. My top pick, of course, for DC. Anytime it comes out, it's top pick. It's Absolute Batman. I mean, this book was so good. I'm not going to show too much because you just got to start reading this book, guys. And if you're not, I don't know what you're doing. It was basically the origin of Harley Quinn and everything that she's gone through in her life. And man, the reveal of just who her parents are in this book. Wow, that was absolutely insane. Batman keeps pushing Harley away, not listening to her. Kind of makes you... I'm really mad at Bruce Wayne in this book. Like, it's starting to piss me off and really act like a villain. Just with the way that he's acting, his reasons for what he's doing. And Harley Quinn really shined in this book. I would love a Scott Snyder Harley Quinn book because it feels like the current Harley Quinn book is just way too silly. I've tried to read it. It's not for me. I know it's supposed to be silly, but man, this book was so good. Highly recommend it. Absolute Batman comes in as my top pick for DC as an A+ comic book. And of course, it's my top pick for DC. Lastly, the final group of books that I have to talk about today is my independent comic book publishers. Basically, anything not Marvel or not DC. And coming in at the bottom, after we have, man, a good amount of books, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total books in the independent publisher category. First one is Tyler Rake, an Extraction story. This is issue number 3 from Ignition Press. And it just felt like the same exact story that's been told in each and every issue. And I think my problem with this is that each mission that he goes on does not follow up into the next mission. It feels like there's an overarching story that they're trying to tell. I can't tell what it is. And personally, the action is not good enough for me to continue reading this book. And the dialogue is literally just explaining what's going on in the scene, which I know that's the whole point, but I can see what's going on. I can see who's getting killed. I can see that this person is blowing up this person. And it just feels like there's no need to really read this book. It's more just a watch book, which is fine, but the action just isn't good enough for me to continue reading this book. So Tyler Rake gonna come in at the bottom as a C- book, and I'm going to be dropping it, unfortunately. Next, we have Did You Hear About Mimi Green? Issue number 2, a really good book, honestly, really underrated. It really is coming out at a great time, and I feel like it's heavily influenced by this Ozempic epidemic. What is the little word for Ozempic and epidemic? Combine those two, I don't know what you get, but that's basically what this is. Because you learn that Mimi Green had a whole bunch of fat surgeries to take away what she used to look like, and also Ozempic and all these different things to make herself look more attractive, look more appealing, because she thought that's what she had to do. Anyway, she goes into this dreamscape yet again, has her friend that she's met there, Tyler, also go into this dreamscape. Ashley was there telling her to escape, and she kind of sacrificed herself, and then she has these lumps on her body that kind of show that this dreamscape is a real place. And after the next day, we go back to the dream world. Mimi Green then saves Ashley. Meanwhile, on the outside, there's this girl named Natalie who's trying to find Mimi Green. And in the dreamscape, Mimi Green just grows this like crab looking arm and stabs the monster in the throat or whatever. And I didn't expect any of this to happen. It looks like to me that the place that she's in is a made-up place, and she gets sent to this dreamscape where they can actually attack her, and there's something there, some entity that is trying to get at her. Really good book. Really good just for the whole Ozempic era that we're living in right now. I feel like it really connects to this generation. And Did You Hear About Mimi Green, for me, is still a really solid book, even though it comes in low on the list. I still give it a solid B. It's a really, really good read. I would recommend it to anybody interested in a Ozempic or fat shaming type of book that's trying to grow the human. Next, we have Just Brutal. This is issue number 4, coming in at 6th place. Dennis Hopeless doing a good job with this book. I just felt like the family bits did not live up to the other issues so far. We see kind of the son trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life. We also see the stepdad kind of losing his mind and getting overtaken by the evil that is inside him. We got to learn a little bit of his history and how his dad was really abusive to him, and then he ended up in a wheelchair and they were able to hash things out. Kind of gave a perspective on the current family's life. But whenever they go back, the son tries to chuck his son, or tries to chuck his sword into the pool or the lake, and he does so, and that has some extreme ramifications, and it's leading into the finale of this series. Just Brutal, a great issue each and every week. I gave it a solid B. It's a good book from Ignition Press. Next, we have Transformers issue 34, coming in at 5th place. I believe 5th place. Yes, 5th place on the list. Not the top Energon book coming out this week. That goes to a different one, but we got to see Optimus and General Flag talk in this issue, trying to see what the game plan is with the Decepticons. Basically, Optimus keeping General Flag up to date. He's not a Prime anymore. He's also not technically an Autobot, but General Flag's like, that's too confusing for humans. You're an Autobot, okay? And we also see a fight of the Autobots, or the Combaticons, and the Autobots. I'm just going to call them that. Basically, Cliffjumper and Shredhead get jumped by the Combaticons. Shredhead tried his best We also see Dr. Henry Arkaville, who gets the jump on General Flag, but then General Flag gives him a headbutt, and Arkaville gets pretty stunned by Optimus and has like a recollection. He's like, okay, I will work with you because that thing looks freaking awesome. Anyways, Shredhead gets beat the crap up by the Combaticons. Cliffjumper becomes the hero and cuts off the head of the Combaticon, maybe saving the life of Shredhead. Who knows? He's not in a good way whenever we get to the end of this book. Leaves on a bit of a cliffhanger. Who knows? But we're going to have to see in the next issue. Transformers, it's still trying to find its feet, I feel like, with Robert Kirkman, even though we are 10 issues through his run with this book. It just doesn't feel the same since Daniel Warren Johnson left. I don't know. It's still a good enough book to keep reading, but it's a B for me this week. Next, we have Mask, Mobile Armored Strike Command. This is issue 2. Dan Waters doing a great job introducing this new group, this new series. And I mean, what a cliffhanger, or just, I get, not even a cliffhanger, just a huge reveal at the end of this book. But it starts off with Matt Tracker, or excuse me, Venom, having this device in the ocean open up a wormhole and everything goes to hell. We get to meet these two characters of, well, a doctor, Bruce Sato, and then a cliff jumper looking person in Gloria Baker. Matt Tracker sends them out to do initial investigations of this place. There was already a cruise ship, or a Norwegian ship, that got taken down by the Venom group. They're there to try to figure out how to close this rift with the wave pool, or the white, I can't think of what it's called, right? Wormhole, sorry. And they are trying their best, and they kind of reveal some more secrets. The action was really good. Artwork was really good. They blow up the device that was implemented into the ocean, and then that frees up everything. But did Bruce and Gloria make it out alive? Who knows? That was a pretty big cliffhanger slash reveal at the end of this issue. Did not see it coming. I honestly can't tell you what the ending was, but it was very, very good. Mask issue 2 comes in at 4th place as a B+ comic book. Next, coming in at 3rd, this one has been very, very surprising each and every month. 7 Wives, only issue 2. It's a 3-issue mini. I would highly recommend picking this up. Lovely, lovely murder mystery. And I mean, the ending made me feel so disgusting. I literally had to go wash my hands after reading this book because I felt so disgusted with just the ending and the things that they were doing at this church. I mean, so disgusting. We learn more secrets of the wives of this church, where the leader, Matt, basically just took advantage, or Matthew, I guess, took advantage of these women and did disgusting, horrible things to them. And then they go out and interview another wife. Turns out she was actually best friends, or at least friends, with one of the female detective of this story. And she finally remembers her as Caitlin Rogers from high school. And basically her life wasn't great. She ended up on the streets, and Matthew saved her, and she kind of got sucked into the whole thing and can't find a way out because they take her social, they take all her paychecks. Everything and anything in her life is owned by this compound church. So after that, they go to this place and they see Mr. Dunn, who is the new kid expected to take over for Matthew. And they have this house called the House of Secrets, or something like that. I forget what the name of it is. They call it the House of Hiding. And he doesn't exactly tell them about it, but he takes them there and shows a huge secret that is absolutely disgusting. And it makes me feel horrified for what was potentially going to happen if Matthew stayed alive. Great book. I mean, fantastic. Only one more issue, kind of sad about that, but I can't wait for the finale. This was really good. I can't wait for the reveal of who did it. 7 Wives is an A- comic book for me. Next, we go over to Ben 10, coming in at 2nd place. Issue number 3. This one was a really quick read. Basically, the military fighting the alien that came to try to track down the Omnitrix of Ben 10, and we get to see some more reveals. We get Diamond Head in this issue. We get a battle between them. Ben does a good job at battling against him. We see some more of the grandpa's tricks with his new vehicle, or his camper van, whatever you want to say. We get Forearms as well. I mean, this one's really gritty, really dark, really down to earth. And I mean, if you thought this was going to be similar to the kids' cartoon, you are way, way wrong. And it seems that Vilgax is on his way to Earth. Seems like, or Vilgax, excuse me. Seems like he's on his way to Earth. Can't wait to see how that goes down. Ben 10, always going to be a fun book to read each and every month. It came in as an A- for me, but not my pick of the week. My pick of the week actually is Innards, issue number 2 from Ignition Press. This is a really good book. We see how it was about to start. We see some things of how it's been corrupting the people. We also see how Roy is getting a boatload of money from doing all these jobs, and it's slowly taking his life away from him. His wife is about to have a kid, and he's like, she's trying to convince him, hey, you did a good job, you got enough money, you can come home now. And Roy is just like, grow up, Madeline. What we need is money, and I know how to get it. I'm going to go to bed, early drop tomorrow. And they go back down, but all the characters, especially the female character, is really saying like, go be with your kid. Who cares about the money? You have a new kid on the way. And that really makes him, really hits home with Roy. But then after they get back and they still start bickering back and forth, we see a murder happen, and they want to interview one of the people that goes down there with all the people. And Boo is the one that has been killing the people, at least this one person. He whacks Etta over the head with a fire engine or something, and then destroys the device that helps them get down to their drop zone. And I mean, you talk about action, you talk about story, you talk about emotion, compellingness. This is it. A fantastic sci-fi thriller book from Ignition Press and Innards. The writer, Rob Guillory and Sam Lotfi, it really goes well. The storytelling with the art form, fantastic. And I think that Rob Guillory is really underrated, and that's why Innards comes in as an A book for me and is my pick of the week for the independent publishers. And finally, after all that, we have to make my ultimate decision of pick of the week. Is it going to be from my buy or sell video, my favorite issue 1, Clayface Celebrity Dirt? Is it going to be DC's Absolute Batman? Is it going to be Daredevil issue 4 from Marvel? Or is it going to be Innards issue number 2? I think it's pretty obvious which one I'm going to pick. It's Absolute Batman. I mean, this is just a fantastic book. If you haven't bought into the hype, what are you doing? If you don't even like comic books, or you don't know where to start, just get Absolute Batman. It is the best beginning book in comics right now. There's no other thing that I would highly recommend as much as this. Maybe Dark Horse's American Caper, but this is just fantastic. I mean, you can't go wrong. You want to get somewhat of an introduction to the characters of the DC world in a different way, this is it. And that's why it's pick of the week. It's just so new reader friendly each and every month, but the story still is great with that as well. But guys, let me know down in the comments what your pick of the week is. Remember, keep reading those comics panel by panel. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my top 10 comics coming out for New Comic Book Day. Have a great rest of your day.